Hello, thank you for joining with me. This is the Course Companions commentary by Robert Perry. I already pre-recorded day 190, section 11, the equal blessing of the miracle, and this is his commentary. This has always been an important section to me, but I'm finding myself understanding it better today, in part because of small differences in wording. One key difference is the addition of the phrase of thoughts in 6:1. The Holy Spirit's one division of thoughts into two categories. That phrase was added above the line in tiny writing and took me a lot of work to decipher. I've often wondered if it should even have gone in, as it didn't seem to add anything. But today, its presence confirmed for me a theory I was developing about the relationship between two of the section's main themes. A theory that will provide the main thrust of my commentary below. Did you find yourself relating to his picture of your mind in paragraphs 3 and 4? This, of course, is a continuation of yesterday's discussion of the mirror of your mind. His picture of the mirror in this section is undeniably realistic. Alternating patterns of light and darkness and light, sweep constantly across your mind. Part of the reason these patterns are constantly changing is that you are judging them. You're thinking, that thought is more important, that one is less productive, that one is wiser, that one is stupider. Based on those judgments, you are struggling to establish some kind of order. You give the wise, productive thoughts pride of place, and you try to keep the stupid, unhelpful thoughts in their place. It's like you are the coach of an unruly baseball team, and you are hoping that if you can put the good kids into the right positions and keep the bad kids on the bench, you can keep all hell from breaking loose and maybe even manage to win a few games. You see that being that coach is absolutely essential. Without exercising that role, your mind could become completely chaotic and out of control to the point where you could even lose your grip on sanity. But Jesus is asking you to give up the role of the coach. He says, yes, some thoughts are better than others, but you need to let the Holy Spirit be the coach of your inner baseball team. You need to let Him order your thoughts. But what would that look like? If you want to know, Jesus says, just look at how He has you respond to the thoughts of others. First of all, He overlooks the outer form that their thoughts take. Your ego judges their thoughts by whether they express in a form that just happens to stroke your pleasure receptors. The Holy Spirit, in contrast, sees more deeply into the real inner content beneath the form. As a result, He divides every thought of theirs into one of two categories. Either it was a loving thought or an unloving thought. With the latter kind, He realizes such a thought is not a sin that truly hurts others. Rather, it merely hurts the thinker himself, placing him in what you might call a love deficit. So He sees an unloving thought simply as a need for love or a call for help. Then, based on this single division, He also guides your response to the thoughts of others. With their thoughts of love, He prompts you to just gratefully receive them. With their need for love, their call for help, He prompts you to give them a miracle. Now that miracle will take a form that is carefully geared to the specific form of their need. So different miracles on the surface will look entirely different. but underneath that surface difference, the inner response of love on your part, if truly guided by the Holy Spirit, will be exactly the same. It will not, in other words, judge your brother's unloving thought. It will not say, this call for help is quite minor. This other call for help is not very deserving. But that call for help is hugely deserving and a real emergency. Instead, in response to each one, he offers the same limitless power of God in the form of maximal unconditional love. The power of God is limitless, and being always maximal, it offers everything to every call from anyone. In other words, no matter how seemingly small or undeserving a call for help is, your inner response is the exact same outpouring of transcendent love. And that is why there is no order of difficulty in miracles. If the same limitless power of God is responding to every single problem, then why would one problem be harder to heal than another? In hurricane force winds, a big piece of straw and a little piece of straw are going to meet the exact same fate. Let's face it, nothing in the world is like this. With everything in this world, you need to gauge exactly how big a certain rock is so that you can ascertain the correct technique and proper amount of force needed to shift it. In this world, the solution is always proportionate to the problem. We therefore don't think in terms of a force that responds exactly the same to every problem, because all of them, regardless of size, are mere pieces of straw in the face of its hurricane force winds. This, therefore, is what stamps the miracle as something that must come from from elsewhere, not from here. Now we've seen how the Holy Spirit responds to the thoughts of others. He just sorts through them, saying, that's love. Wonderful. Let's enjoy that. That's a need for love, so let's fill that need. Let's turn on the floodlight of unconditional love. What a beautiful way of responding to their thoughts. Can you imagine being them and being on the receiving end of his way of response? The point is that we can be. This is what he wants to do with our thoughts. This is exactly how he wants to coach that unruly team of thoughts in our minds, by showing us how he responds to the thoughts of others. He is auditioning for the exact same role in our own minds. It's extremely tempting, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining with me for Robert Perry's commentary of Chapter 14, The Light of Guiltlessness, Day 190, Section 11, The Equal Blessing of the Miracle. I love you. Thank you.